Hi everyone, this is Andy. Welcome to the Scout Skills channel. In this series, we're going to do Scout knots. Hi everyone, thanks for coming back to the Scout Skills channel. Today we're going to tie the clove hitch. The clove hitch is useful for several of the lashings that we're going to do in Scouts. It is very similar to the two half hitches in that we're tying basically the same knot, except in two half hitches we're tying it around the standing end of the rope. In the clove hitch we're tying it around the object itself. So there is the clove hitch. Alright, here we go with the details on how to tie the clove hitch. The first thing we want to do is make a crossing turn around whatever object it is that we're going to tie the rope to. There's our crossing turn. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is come back underneath on the opposite side of where we started. So we started over here, so our rope's going to come back on the opposite side of where we started our crossing turn. Then the rope will go underneath that crossing turn again, and we'll pull on both ends, dress the knot so that it's secure. Now that'll take quite a bit of load. The clove hitch is used to start and stop almost all of our lashings that we're going to learn in Scouts. To untie it, what we like to do is grab this part that's crossed over and just wiggle it, and sometimes it'll come undone easier that way than trying to just pull everything out at once. So here we go once again, clove hitch, over the top, crossing turn around to the opposite side where we started, tuck underneath the crossing turn, pull both ends, dress the knot. There you go, there's the clove hitch. And to untie, just kind of loosen it up right there, and it comes done fairly easily. Can we make a slipped version? Sure we can. Make sure you just have more length than before. So we make our crossing turn, come back on the opposite side, and instead of pulling through the whole end or tag end of the rope, just pull through a bite, cinch it down, and there is the slippery or slipped clove hitch. Not very much recommended unless you're actually going to be using this as a very temporary type of a knot. But it'll hold secure, and then you just pop it loose like that. Now, related to the clove hitch, there is a couple other variations I want to show you. The first is called the constrictor knot. Now, the constrictor knot is basically a clove hitch. Let's start with a clove hitch just to show you the difference. Okay, but then I take this back underneath here. So basically I've got an overhand knot covered by this crossing turn, and that is a more secure version of the clove hitch. It's called the constrictor knot. Okay. The next variation of the clove hitch is called the strangle knot. Here we're going to make our same crossing turn as we started in the clove hitch, and then start making a second crossing turn, then pass under both ropes and dress the knot. The strangle knot is different from the constrictor knot in that the ends of the rope are coming out of both ends of the knot instead of in between like the constrictor knot. Here, I'll show you the difference real quick. There is the strangle knot. Okay, it's a little bit harder to untie. Okay, that was the strangle knot. and then this is the constrictor knot. Okay, remember on the strangle knot the ropes came out here. On the constrictor knot the ropes come out between these two turns here. So it's still an overhand knot. There's my overhand knot underneath this crossing turn, just like the strangle knot, except the overhand knot goes the other direction underneath that crossing turn. Now this might be useful when you're tying a bag closed or something like that. You've got a fabric sack and you want to tie it closed. You could put the strangle knot on there. Constrictor knot would probably work just as well, but in that situation might be a little bit harder to untie. If you want to look at the structure of the strangle knot, it's basically a double overhand knot. Okay, see there's our crossing turn and the rope comes out both ends. Let me show you a different way to tie the double overhand knot that might make more sense. I'm going to go around, there's my crossing turn, my second crossing turn, and I'm going to tuck and pull. Okay, so there's my double overhand knot where I've got a rope coming out each of the two ends. If I tie that around a pole or the closed end of a bag or something like that, I've got the strangle knot. See that? Okay, there are two more methods of the clove hitch that I want to show you. First of all, clove hitch, if we deconstruct it, is simply a couple of overhand loops stacked on top of each. So if I take my rope, I can take it at the working end, or I can take it anywhere in the middle and make a clove hitch simply by making an overhand loop and a second overhand loop. I'll take the overhand loop in my right hand, put it under the overhand loop on my left hand. Then I can slide it around over the end of whatever I'm going to tie it to. There's my clove hitch. So I'll show you that method again. Again, you can do this at the end of the rope or anywhere in the middle. Make an overhand loop and a second overhand loop. Put the overhand loop in the right hand behind the overhand loop in the left hand. Slide it over the end of your pole and make your clove hitch. It's a very simple way to tie a clove hitch if you've got access to the end of whatever it is you're tying it to. Okay, now the other method of the clove hitch, which is going to be very essential for you to know to finish off your lashings, is the same thing. It's the overhand loop method. So let's pretend you're done with your lashing and you would want to tie it off with a clove hitch. Here's the end of the pole that you're making your lashing on. So what you'll do is you'll make an overhand loop. You'll give your right hand that twist as we showed in the fundamentals. You'll make that twist, except that loop is going to go up over the pole. There's your first loop. Then do another overhand loop the same way. Take it, twist it, slide that up and over, then dress the knot. There's your clove hitch. Let's do that once again. So I've come to the end of my lashing and I want to tie it off with a clove hitch. I'm going to make that overhand loop. So here's my overhand loop, right? But I'm going to flip it over. That's normally how we'd make the overhand loop. I'm going to flip it over, go over the pole. Make a second overhand loop. Flip it over the pole. There's the clove hitch. Now when we do our lashings video, I'll show you exactly how that's done to finish off a lashing. Also, you'll want to learn to tie the clove hitch in any direction. Sometimes I may be coming from this direction and I'll want to tie a clove hitch. Okay, just remember to do your crossing turn and then go around again and tuck under, coming from this direction. I can come from the opposite direction as well. Okay, come around, clove hitch. You'll want to learn how to do it left to right, top to bottom, upside down, and backwards. And it doesn't matter which way I cross. That first cross, I could cross this way and tie a clove hitch. Okay, I could cross the other way. I could come on this side first, then cross over to the opposite side. So learn how to tie the clove hitch, coming from any direction and going any direction. Like that. Or I could cross the other way. Come underneath first. Just like that. So practice the clove hitch several different ways, and that will become an important part of your knot repertoire. Now, I also want to show you another method to tie the constrictor knot. So remember, the constrictor knot was a crossing turn, and then instead of going under here for the clove hitch, I'm going to go under, wrap around here, and then come under the knot, go up the middle. Okay, that was the constrictor knot. But if you've got access to the end of the pole, you can tie the constrictor knot in such a way that you can just slide it over the end. So here we go. Make yourself a good size overhand loop, like that. Pinch. This is my working end. I'm going to take my thumb from the back side, lift it up, and flip a loop over. So now I've got my loops that I can slide over the end, and there's the constrictor knot. So I'll show you that one more time. Maybe I'll get the stick out of the way. Okay. Make a good size overhand loop. Take your thumb underneath with my right hand. Keep your thumb on top inside this loop. Flip that loop over. There's the constrictor knot. Just like that, and I can put it over whatever it is I want to tie it to and dress it up. Come back next time and we'll learn the timber hitch, the other knot that you'll need to know to do all of your lashings. That's all for this time. Check below for links to the other Scout knot videos in this series. Also, click the thumbs up and subscribe so you can see more videos on the Scout Skills channel. Thanks for watching, and remember, always go prepared.